Hi, I'm Pastor Jacob, and this is the second attempt at filming my second weekly reflection video as my first year of being the pastor of Blue Mound United Methodist Church in Denton, Texas. And I am very excited this week to be reshooting. I tried to film yesterday, but I was a little bit overwhelmed and distracted by a few logistical things that I was trying to get taken care of. Most importantly, that there was a slight concern that our phone number that we've had for a very long time here at the church I was at risk of being reassigned, and so I had to get that issue taken care of and the number ported over to our new service provider. But anyways, I'm wanting to do a little bit better of actually reflecting on this past week in ministry instead of just saying, hey, I talked about this and I'm gonna talk about this and that's all, bye. So this past week was my first full week in the office, and my office doesn't currently have a working air conditioning unit, and I'm working with the trustees to try and figure out the most economical solution since I'm going to be in the building mostly by myself a lot of days of the week, getting administrative things taken care of and my sermons written and these videos filmed and all that stuff. So anyways, this past week I have gotten a lot of stuff on my plate and got a lot of things taken care of. Like I said, I sorted out the phone situation. We interviewed a new organist to play the organ here for us, and then had to scramble and try and find additional applicants as that position is still open. I also met with the new leader of the Denton Wesley Foundation here, that's on the campus of UNT, but also serves the campuses of TWU and North Central Texas College here in Denton County. And so that was a productive meeting. I'm looking forward to partnering our ministry with theirs in some ways that can be mutually beneficial, and we're still exploring exactly what that might look like. But I'm very excited about the possibilities. I'm also working on our church's web presence. Our administrative team, our leadership team, whatever you want to call it, has approved us to switch web hosts to United Methodist Communications hosting, and we're going to be able to save money and get a better quality website out of that. So there's a lot of back work that needs to be done, and work that you don't quite see what all goes into it, and trying to get our web presence updated, not just our website, but our Find a Church profile on umc.org, and also our Facebook page. And like I said, I've had to do all this while having no AC in my office, and also doing my best to try and meet with as many people as possible, getting to know them, getting to hear their stories, and really trying to do life together with them. But this past Sunday, now 2 days ago instead of yesterday, because I'm re-recording this, was my second Sunday. And I mentioned in the first week's video that the first Sunday is very similar to another guest preaching opportunity. You've not had the opportunity to be with the people, and so you're just going in to worship, and you preach, and that's the main thing that's on your responsibility list the first Sunday. And so it's very much a guest preaching opportunity, even though it's not quite a guest preaching opportunity. But the second week is very different. The excitement of the new person being here is gone away, and the initial bump of attendance has simmered just a little bit and come back closer to what average will hopefully be able to grow from. And so the second Sunday in worship is a little bit different. And my sermon yesterday was about conflict and how Christians should process and resolve issues of conflict differently from the rest of the world. And of course, I got the question afterwards of, what happened this week? So why you haven't? But I actually have had that message planned for over a month, and I just think that it's good to be proactive about knowing how we are going to process conflict, because conflict is a product of life. It will happen at some point or another, even though we are all still getting along very wonderfully, and things are going quite smoothly. But I want them to continue to do so, and knowing how I understand Scripture's instruction on how we as Christians should resolve conflict can hopefully help things to continue to run smoothly even after I conflict with them, or they conflict with each other, or any of those things. Like I said, conflict happens in life, and so we need to know how we should deal with that together. My sermon this upcoming week is going to be about freedom in the Spirit most specifically, but then I will talk a little bit also about the importance of that birthright that Jacob sells to Esau, and how that kind of plays in all to this freedom that Paul is talking about in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verses 1 through 11. So I look forward to, if you're in the area, if you're in the congregation, I look forward to seeing you there. If you're not, the sermons will be put online. There's going to be a link down below to this past week's sermon if you'd like to check that out. There will also be a link to where you can find the PowerPoint of the 7 steps of Christian conflict resolution. So yeah, this week I'm very excited about just getting lots of little things done, so that hopefully we can end up with some big results as we work towards becoming a new creation together here at Blue Mound United Methodist Church in Denton. I'm very excited about what God is doing, and God is working on me in some amazing ways. Like I said yesterday, I was very distracted and stressed, and then I listened to a podcast in the evening while I was making my kids dinner. I had one earphone in with the podcast, and the other ear was and my eyes were keeping an eye on the kids while I'm cooking dinner, and I listened to a podcast called Scripture Unscripted, where some ministry friends of mine from Highland Park United Methodist, they sit down together and they just read a passage and they talk about it. They just talk about it and the things that it brings up in them, and all sorts of stuff like that, and it just it refilled my spirit in a wonderful way. And so if you're into podcasts, I highly recommend that podcast with Phil Dickey and Elizabeth Mosley. I've been watching How I Met Your Mother with my wife in the evenings as well, and so even though her name is actually Elizabeth Mosley, I keep wanting to say Mosby, like Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. Anyways, I hope you had a great week. I certainly have, and I look forward to another one. And so I hope you're blessed. Let me know if I can be of any help. God bless.